Ririshvi Britannia commands you to watch this video. That was not a very good impression, wasn't it?
It was not. I tried.
Okay, we tried. Hey everyone, this is Mikoy welcoming you back to another episode of the Tourist Plaza Premiere Podcast. I'm joined once again by...
Okay, Art 2004.
And last time we covered Week 2 recap and Week 3 predicts. If I'm saying that right, yes, it is Week 2 and Week 3 predicts. This time we're going to cover Week 2 recap and Week 3 predicts. I just messed it up. It's Week 2.
Yes, you did.
It's Week 2 recap and Week 3 predicts time. So, this week, honestly, compared to last week, this felt even more basic than it already was because none of the matches really exceeded my expectations well, except for Same 6, but that's biased because Same 6 is the best tier, no cap. But the rest of the games, I mean, there were some pretty good matches, but there are overall just very basic performances from all the players, and I wish that we got to see more. I wish we got to see more, balls to the wall, unpredictable plays, just going in and coming in clutch. Right now, it's been kind of a safe week for games. So, today, let's discuss, but in terms of overall standings and records and whatnot, this has actually been a pretty crucial week because some of them have produced some really big surprises in terms of, the records. Starting off this one.
For example, the first thing we're starting off with reviewing is already quite the surprise.
And let's talk about it now. First off is the Anastar Articunos beating the Absolute Absol Posters in a 5-2 situation. This is for a team that has been considered to be one of the bottom-ranked teams. They pulled off the big upset because, my God, there were some unfortunate games that happened, but most importantly, some of them, didn't go as well as it did.
Why do I see Tony Flygon lost? What happened?
Yep, we're gonna talk about it now. First off, though, is Tier Shift plus AAA. We got Tranquility losing to Poshik Moshek. Now, I didn't ask for the test games, Plaku. I just said it would be funny if they just posted test games and not the actual games. But they went ahead and did a best of 3, which 2 of the 3 games weren't even linked to replays. They just blanked out. So we only got to see one game, and that's the one I noted. So, Axe tried to belly drum sweep Charizard real early into the game, but Mandiba's tanking with Dauntless Shield and foul playing it was kind of the early signs of I think Plaku has got this matchup down. And definitely over the course of the game, Plaku definitely felt more in control as he pivoted his mons well, especially his Lantern, his Doublade, and his Tyrantrum, while Axe was kept pressured for most of it. And so, Poshik Moshik ended up taking that one.
Well then.
Next up was Ice Master versus Pote. Nah, I wasn't kidding when this was a crucifixion, because it totally was a crucifixion. Crucifixion, whatever. Crucifixion. Anyway, Pote got slaughtered here. But
Damn.
But his team was kind of weird, honestly. It consisted of Ditto, Mew, and Skarm, along with Ho kind of having a weird set. I believe it was Dragon Ascent Firelash Defog, which was really weird. Game, though, wholly uninteresting. Ice Master kind of, again, dominated Pote with a Dragon Dance Zygarde, which,
Okay, but did he 6-0?
Don't think he did. But I wasn't really invested in this matchup. We knew Ice Master was going to win, so
Even Pope knew Ice Master was going to slaughter him.
and that's big ups for post. At least he knew ahead of time that he was he was gonna be dominated.
Yeah, so he was prepared. He was prepared for slaughter.
He was, and props to him. At least, I hope I sure hope he learns the tier from this point on, because it's a Stab and Mega tends to be a pretty good tier, for games at least. Next up, we got the Rans game. We got Casual versus Los Cono Shoto, and I finally got one over you, PokeArt. I said Los Cono would win, and he did.
Damn.
So game 1 highlights included Los Cono bringing 2 Scarfers and a Linoon. Very HO centric. That was that first team he chose out of the 12. There was also a funny moment where Sableye forgot Floatzel had Water Veil, so he couldn't burn it with Will-O-Wisp. And Hoopa critting Rotom for the stamping point, the exclamation point in that game 1. So well done to Los Cono on that. Game 2 highlights included Vanillix freezing Raichu and Entei missing a Stone Edge at the end, allowing Kingdra to set up Rain and then sweep at the end. I think it would have been better if Casual just straight up Sacred Fire, but that's just me. Because it was
What was he attacking?
It was Waterfall. So
No, I mean, what was he attacking with an Entei?
Kingdra.
Why would you Sacred Fire a Kingdra?
You get the burn.
Decoy, that's double resisted. Why would you do that?
But it's nice to just try for the burn, so you're more. Well, whatever. If he had other he can switch out. He can switch out and then E-Speed later.
Maybe.
So that was the whole game. Los Cono proving to be the better Rants player than Casual. Next up, we got Yoda versus Shadow Monster in doubles. Shadow brought some really cool sets. You got Steel Electric, Steel Flying or Steel Electric, Kyurem Black, and Normal Fighting Arcanine. Those are pretty dangerous, and considering how the battle went, both really hit hard, especially Normal Fighting Arcanine. Extreme speeding the Volcarona, even at +1 defense, I believe. But overall, the game was pretty standard. It was pretty even for the first couple of turns, but as soon as Naganado killed Landorus with Fire Blast, it went heavily in Yoda's favor, and Yoda ended up pretty much playing the better of the two by that point. So a good win there.
Alright then.
So a good win there by Yoda. Next up, oh boy, Tony Flygon losing to Leiru. Here's what happened. Glaceon and Articuno had a pretty interesting early war. Glaceon set up the -2 special defense from Fake Tears, and then trying to Ice Move it. However, Articuno lived to 1 HP.
Oh no.
There were also some pretty interesting moments. Like both actually brought physical Articuno with Brave Bird and Triple Axle. Which ended up like pretty good, especially against Glaceon and then later Slowking and then Articuno and their own Articuno. AV Stun Fist killing Slurpuff. I believe that was Assault Vest because it's Stone Edge, Metal Claw, and Earthquake. And then, in the end, we got Leiru's Agility Sword Stance Escavalier sweeping the endgame. So actually a pretty good win by Leiru. It was a good game in hindsight, but it's not one of the best games. But for the week itself, like both absolutely brought it, and especially their build, very very important. So good for Leiru for keeping the Escavalier towards the end game and then winning. Next up we got W Sun 1 versus FC. W Sun, Mega Gengar is banned according to the code. Lol. You brought Mega Gengar still. I know you put Gengar plus Gengarite, but that won't fly. At least FC won. FC used two Mega Rayquazas during that battle. One his normal, and then two his Ditto. And then we got Toxic Groudon plus Refresh Arceus Stall Wars, which FC won by the end, so good job for FC on that one. Next up, we got Meta versus Trichotomy. Fairy versus Dark. That's all you need to know, PokeArt.
Well then.
However, I will say, though, Chromera deserves special attention, as he had a pretty interesting set. You got Combine, Boom Burst, Scald, and Recover. His longevity, ability, and set proved to be quite the useful commodity for Cap Mono in the future. So if anyone wants to build a particular Chromera set, the Meta's Chromera from week 2 definitely is a big, if you want just a sweeper, like a Chromera. Voodoo, failing to predict Jumbao's trace and then getting killed as a result was pretty funny. And then Hatterene cleaned the rest of the game by getting 2 lucky Paraz over Chromera with the Nuzzle and then killing Weavile with Draining Kiss. It was actually a pretty bulky Hatterene as well, so good on Trichotomy on that one. And then last but not least, Lax versus Gray from Mysterio U. This didn't happen, even though I was kind of excited for this one. Anyway, that was the Articuno's upset. That was the first big upset of the season. Well, one of them.
The Axles actually lost early season. What a surprise.
Yeah. Never thought you'd say that in 4 years. Next up, we got the Grand Order Greninjas tying the Bouncing Bounsweets. So, good. It was... Well, things happened in this one. First up, we got Byleth versus Mossy Sandwich in TSAA. We actually caught this live, I believe, right?
Did we?
I believe we did. Early Belly, again, the second TSAA game in a row where Belly Drum Charizard setting it up early in the early game. It was stopped due to, this time, Steelix Toxic, and then some couple important plays, and then Byleth, I think, lost the Charizard. Steelix, though, got to Toxic 4 very important mons in Byleth's team, which pretty much was the catalyst for the whole game, allowing to get free kills from Gallade, which claimed Mossy the W. So that was a pretty... So Steelix ended up becoming the unsung MVP for this one, for all those Toxics that were being settled in Byleth's team, and then Gallade ended up claiming the kills and doing the revenge kills. Next up, we got Sage versus Adem in Stab and Mega. This one was pretty interesting. We got this one actually had some really good sets. First off, the first couple of turns, we got Victini having Reflect and Light Screen with Light Clay, and then final Gambiting the Rotom at full. That was a good turn.
Well then.
Then we got Landorus destroying Zapdos and Zamazenta with Calm Mind and Oblivion Wing, which again,
that Landorus.
That kind of Landorus can destroy teams, and good on the user for making it happen. The big thing that happened though was Mimikyu Spectral Thiefing the Lando to get rid of the boosts from Calm Mind. But then Lando burned it with Scorching Sands, disallowing any chances for sweeping from Adem's side. So Lando got a lucky break there. And then Cloyster and Necrozma took the end game and then just kind of swept the end. A good win there by Sage. That was actually a pretty good matchup. Aside from the burn, which kind of cost Adem the whole game, Sage played it well. And That burn was pretty lucky. Next up, we got Expulso versus Crying in Rands. I think we caught this one. I think... Wasn't this the first game? No, no. I don't think it was. It was played like pretty late, I believe. I don't know. But you notice that I haven't been covering Rands as detailed as the other games because it's random battles. How the hell do you expect me to analyze a Randbats game? First,
you can just analyze it mon by mon, turn by turn, or just what you usually do. Like, I don't know. I mean, you're basically just recapping. It's not hard to recap a random game.
I mean, the big things that happened in game one, like for this one, for instance, it was just a trade-off game. Like, first off, Indeedee going on a tear, even killing like I guess sacking Faramosa on Crying side, and then towards the end we got Dynamax weakness policy Solgaleo absolutely destroying Dynamax Groudon and then sweeping the end game. So good win from Expulso there. Then game 2 saw Deoxys crit Okoing Dusknoir with Psycho Boost. And then Mega Pinsir sweeping the endgame because Crying let Expulso get off a free Swords Dance, and so it was able to return and then quick attack the remaining Mons in order for Expulso to sweep and win the game. So I think you predicted Expulso to win this one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Ah man, I think I predicted Crying. So rip. Next up, Kepper versus Frixel, and this one I think you'd be pretty happy about because Kepper brought Sun.
Hey, and he won.
He did.
And he beat Frixel.
That's 3 check marks off of Pokeart's list.
In one.
Well, that is one of the certain things that will bring Pokeart a tear to her face. Be happy by Frixel losing to a Sun team.
I'm gonna watch it now.
Alright, so a couple of things that happened with this game. Blastoise Dragon-tailed a very unfortunate switch to Indeedee, as Follow Me proved pretty dangerous in this game. Like, Follow Me, like, being one of the best redirecting moves in doubles, and then Indeedee kind of tanking hits. That was good. Leafeon, Okoing, a Water Ground Volcanion, and then killing Zeraora was a nice touch. And then Kepper won at the end with Trick Room, with Torkoal and Porygon 2 destroying the Zygarde. So a good win from Kepper there. Very dominant against Frixel, especially with the team he brought. So yeah, I would love to see that kind of game in Tours Plaza Premier in the future. Check to all the players.
Oh yeah, all Sun teams. No, all Sun games. Yeah, that's what we want to see in the future, definitely.
Sun Wars. Next up, we got the National Dex Same 6 matchup. We got TPP versus Siphiecon. First turn, Shiftry just absolutely O-code Siffy's own Shiftry with Focus Blast. That was a good sign. Miltank bringing Sandstorm was nice. It was able to, it basically was the setup to Sandrush Dracozolt. But, unfortunately, it was against TPP's own, I guess, mixed or special offense Dracozolt, because it killed Miltank with Draco Meteor. And then Siphicon's Dracozolt wasn't... I think that Melmetal is bulky offense is very defensive because it couldn't even dent. It kept living hits from Siphicon's Dracozolt, which cost Siffy the whole entire game because he needed that Melmetal to die. And unfortunately it didn't, so Melmetal and then the rest of TPP's Mons were able to just kill... I think Salamence ended up being the endgame sweeper. So a good win for TVP. Definitely well deserved after week 1's loss. Very, very unfortunate loss.
Good for him.
Next up, we got Star versus Latiasa. This one was one of the more unfortunate games that happened because Star Master just got absolutely hacked in this game.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
So,
I saw this.
a crucial paralyze on Mega Ray, and then losing both Arceus and Yveltal against Latias's Arceus Dark due to crits. He kept critting Judgment twice, and then he lost first off the Arceus ground, which, you know, it was also calm minding, but the crit happened, bleh. And then Yveltal came in next, and then it got critted as well, so Star forfeited by that time. So yeah, a tainted win by Latiasa, but still a pretty good win, I guess. I don't know. Next up, we got Monotype Cap, Sasha versus Jordy. What was Askov versus Layson turned out to be a double sub. Destiny Bond on start by Sasha, taking out the Caribolt in one hit. The main thing that happened though in this game was the crucial para due to static on the Dragapult, ult by the Zapdos, which cost Sasha the whole game, as you really needed that Dragapult because he was pretty much in perfect position to sweep Jordy, but then the Dragapult got parad and lost. The momentum was all lost, and in the end, Jordy took the win.
Oof.
That's 2 crucial hacks games in a row. Next up though was Rob Jr. versus MNC or Mence. This one, you must remember this game because we've watched this live when we were watching the VGC finals.
Yes, but also, weren't we also watching EZ play while this was happening live?
Yeah, we had a double game that happened there. Game 1 included both teams bringing rain, and ultimately it was kind of a pretty basic game without much rain. They brought rain teams, but they didn't use rain a lot. Like, Pelipper was there, Barraskewda was there, but we never got to see rain. And, I mean, it was a pretty standard game without rain, I guess, well, until Rob won. So, a good win by Rob, I guess.
Yes, it was a standard game until Rob won, so good game.
GG. G2, we got MNCMT bringing the Mega Alakazam, using HP Fire to win against, I believe, Ferrothorn and Magnezone, and killing them. The big thing that happened, though, was Weavile getting off a free Swords Dance and then missing the Icicle Crash on the Como-O.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was really unfortunate, and that gave Rob the Series W by that point, because,
yes,
man.
Although, it's not confirmed that he would have won anyway.
You think so?
Cortana was still left, and that might have been able to survive an Ice Shard.
Okay. I mean, I could see that, but I think it was it was still green, right?
I think it was either around half or slightly below.
Okay, so I think Cortana would have a good chance of living there, an Ice Shard by that point. So, yeah, I could see that.
Was the Weavile intimidated?
No, I don't think so. It was sword. I think it was a complete Swords Dance. But yeah, good win for Rob Jr. and the Bouncing Bounce Sweets and the Greninjas in a deadlock. Next up, we got the Gotham Golbats beating the reigning champions, the Firmoon Frostmots. The reigning champions going 0-2 in 2 weeks.
Did not expect that. Well, soon it's gonna be 0-3.
Yikes. You think? You think?
Yeah, I think.
Obviously showing some favoritism there. Well, first off, we got TSAA, we're starting off good with the Frostmoth because Advita lost to Don Vasquez. Pretty uneventful TSAA game, honestly. Don largely dominated this fight. Spritzy. Why did I pick Spritzy? It was Slurpuff, I believe. Regirock, Dialga, and Avalug did most of the heavy lifting in this game against all of Ad's team. So it was a largely anticlimactic game. Like, we know Don was going to win, even from preview. Next up, we got Derpy Boy versus El Gino. El Gino actually brought some pretty interesting sets. Septolite, Celesteal.
Yes, but not exactly good sets.
I mean, we got Septolite, Celesteela, and Sunsteel Strike Ferrothorn. I was surprised. I was pretty surprised.
Why Septolite?
I don't know. Like, I mean, isn't electric spam like a thing? You got volt switching
and gives it lightning rod. I guess that's somewhat cool, but like, I guess it becomes a Regieleki counter then. I
believe so, yeah. Blacephalon Moongeist Beam looked to be the sweeper until Tornadus came in and killed it. If it was only faster, it would have been it. And then Tornadus itself ended up sweeping the game in this pretty short and sweet match. I think it only lasted under 30 turns. So good win by Derpy Boy. I mean, he still got it.
According to some others, people were saying El Gino didn't exactly bring a solid team.
Oof. Well, that might have been part of it.
Sets, but like, the team itself was not exactly solid, they say.
Ah, well. Maybe in the next week we'll see more interesting sets in the future. Next up, this was the actual first game of the week. We got Crunchman versus RSB and Rands. Oh no! When watching this game,
Crunchman's going real well in Rands.
I mean, haven't we seen this before already in BLT, where Crunchman absolutely dominated the team? Yeah. I mean, he went on a tear, right? He went on an unbeaten streak in BLT until SMB killed him.
I mean, like, the doubles player, he's dominating in Randbats.
Against very good players like Rusty Sheriff Badge. Well, here, though, it was kind of hacksy. First off, in game 1, which was pretty uninteresting until a nasty play rough miss on the Slurpuff cost RSB the game.
Oh.
Game 2 was a short game that saw double Zern doing geomancy stuff, and then Chinchino actually predicting well against the Hitmontop and the Latios to get the RSB win. Game 3 though was really weird, and this was the only 3-game set in Rands. It was weird. It was a weird game though. Slowbro crit burning Hydreigon was We got Hyperspace Fury going through Protect Mega Gengar, so remember that, folks. Palkia missing the Fire Blast as well on Glaceon, as well as Hoopa and Bound tricking the Lando, gave Crunch the W. So it was an unfortunate game from RSB. Crunchman, the doubles player, going 2-0 in Ranbats. What a world to be alive, folks. Next up, we got Instruct versus Stravench. I mean, doubling down on Mew was a good strat in turn 1 because Mew was kind of dangerous. Actually, it might be pretty dangerous in camo doubles now I think about it, because we've seen some Mew usage that was good.
You see, Mew can learn a frick ton of things. That's why it's so good here, because it can be just about any type you want it to be.
Yeah. Yes, but the main thing that happened here was Stack Attack's Trick Room tore through this Instruct team, and people have been saying that Instruct's team has been pretty crap, and this proves here because it loses to Stack Attack at Trick Room. Killing the Lele, killing the Kyurem, proving crucial hits for Stravench to take the W.
Well, I think we predicted Revenge to take it anyway, regardless of who we played against, yeah?
Yeah, because Stravench, well-known doubles player and also Filipino. Next up, we got TDK versus GXE. I believe. This is one of the two Steam 6 games I personally really liked because it was kind of even. So a good match this one. First off, we got the Maractus Poison Jab war at the start. Then we got Stack Attacka carrying Light Screen and Steel Beam. Kinda on. Kinda.
What? Huh?
Yeah, it carried Light Screen and Steel Beam. Unfortunately, it was up against Nasty Plot Kofagrigus.
What?
You have to see the game so you get what I mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for it now. What in the...
Next up,
Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
And then we got TDK actually bringing a pretty interesting. And next up, we got TDK's pretty interesting Dragalge set. We got, I believe it was Z Move, Nasty Plot, Sludge Wave, Draco Meteor, I believe. The Z moving the Kofagrigus, and then Draco meeting GXE's own Dragalge. Those were a couple of good turns for TDK. But TDK himself brought a really interesting Kofagrigus set. Endure Custap Berry with HP Fire, killing Mega Pinsir.
Huh.
And then, towards the end of the game, though, GXE took the win by a double because it had Wild Charge going up against Mega Pinsir, and then using Body Press after getting Cotton Guard up. Body Pressed, took out TDK's own double, clinched the win. A very good game from the same 6 players. So, I need to see more. This is what I wanted, same 6. I love interesting sets being put to good use.
I see that, Miko. I see that.
Yeah, you finally got to see this. Next up, we got Astrolidia versus Skooma. So Astrolidia coming into the Golbats. For when +1 light that burns the sky couldn't even kill Primal Groudon at full. Oof.
Oh my god.
Even though it was like Dragon Dance, Ultra Necrosium Z, that still couldn't kill the P-Don. Unfortunate. Lydia's Mega Gyarados actually went wild, killing the Cramorant after Gulp Missile couldn't break through Mold Breaker, and even dodging the Mega Ray. He's a Draco Meteor, I believe, to chip it. Pretty good chip. Ultimately, Special P-Don. Astrolidia brought Special Primal Groudon, dodging the Meteor Mash, and then using Fire Blast and HP Ice for Lydia's W. Even dodging quite a lot, actually, of Skooma's moves. And then Astrolidia took the win by that point. Good RNG, I guess, Lydia. I mean, it was able to pick up the win, so good.
Alrighty.
Next up, we got Roxy versus Felines. Okay match, I guess. We got early shenanigans with Plasmanta and Carabolt freezes at the start. Roxy did kind of a dumb and didn't see Plasmanta carried Storm Drain as it was flip turning, so interesting thing. Cyclone, but again, the freezes happened, continued with Cyclone freezing as well, the top of Coco, lol. Nothing really else happened. Roxy won. Pretty straightforward game otherwise. And then and then next up we got Xeno 420 versus Leo. As with this set had the Rand best of 3 going into 3 games. This one had the Mystery OU going into 3 games. Game 1, largely basic. Both players using their Megas most effectively until Leo won with Metagross. Game 2 was pretty short. Zen played around a lot of Leo's Hail team, tanking most strong hits like Dragapult's Phantom Force and then Garchomp's Aqua Tail. So a good win there by Zen. And then third was even shorter, the third game, because Ferium Z didn't Magirna didn't Oko Torn. Diancie carried Substitute to beat Magirna, and then Superior glaring and then sweeping Tornenko in order to take the W. So a good win by Zen, all things considered.
All right.
And then finally, we get the Beletta Drive Bayonets losing big time to the Ruinheim Renirigus. What happened here? 2-6? Bruh.
Okay, well, Kate didn't even play.
No, he did. No, she did.
Huh?
She did.
She did?
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about
And
that
she
game.
didn't link.
Unfortunate, but it was linked. Ayaka won, but we'll talk about that next. First off, we got TSAA Oakleys versus Long Heap. I mean, this was the curb stompiest TSAA game I've ever seen, because Long Heap just kind of destroyed Oakleys in 22 turns. And that was literally my only note.
Oakley's isn't proud of that.
Next up, we got Axel versus Fab Wulu. Joey brought a really hard to kill Swampert set, which even had the advantage over Workup Solgaleo, which I was actually personally pretty happy to see, but Joey brought a pretty kind of stally, I guess, Swampert set. Ultimately, Joey did play significantly better, catching Axel numerous times with Regieleki and winning. So a good win by Joey in Stab and Mega there. Next up was the most dominant Rans games I've ever seen. We got Michael Derbest defeating London. Game 1, largely dominated by Stakataka. Game 2, largely dominated by Darmanitan Galar. Nothing else to say. Michael Derbest absolutely swept London in this game. Next.
Yeah, like, people don't want to invest in the Ranbat slot, but, like, I ain't complaining about this at all.
Yeah, Michael absolutely killed it. Next up, Camo Doubles. Roldsky versus Zfable. Oh, man, this game. Kind of, it broke my heart seeing this game, because we know Zfable is really good in the doubles community, but this one wasn't her best play, because Blacephalon's Expanding Force dominated this game. Z didn't really have any chances to tank hits because she lost the Incineroar pretty early on.
Yeah, this was a tough matchup.
Z did try to come back with Cosmic Defense Mew, you know the one, but Lele having Taunt, preventing it to heal, and then Naganadel just chipping away, gave Roldsky the W. So a very strong performance by Roldsky towards the end, because he brought the Taunt, which stopped the Mew, and then Naganadel just kicked in, and then...
Like, not only were we pretty scarce on Psychic Resists, but come on, it ran Taunt?
It ran Taunt.
That almost seems just unfair.
I mean, a good bring in hindsight, now that we think about it. But yeah, good win from Roldsky. Hard to watch game from Z's favor, but, I think she'll bounce back. Next up, we got Ars9 versus Shiloh. This is probably the TPP game of the week, because both players absolutely, played optimally. Growth Amoongus versus Archeops. Not really the most optimal plays from Shiloh, to be honest.
You see, I'm pretty sure that was a banded Archeops, and Shiloh was caught off guard by that.
I guess, and Amoongus couldn't really tank a hit. Normal gem explosion from Blacephalon couldn't even kill Snorlax. Really? And then Ars's Amoongus ended up being the MVP of this game. getting to foul play against Shiloh's own Archeops, who went into defeatist, and then Snorlax, who belly drummed the previous turn, and then saw that, foul played, and then took Snorlax out. And then Arsenine played the rest of the game well, defeating Archeops by the end. So again, pretty good game, I guess. This was the best. Aside from TDK and GXE, this one is up there in TPP in Same 6 Game of the Week. Next up, we got...
I'll admit, or Shiloh admitted that he wasn't terribly proud of how he played his game. The thing is, his Amoonguss would have done a lot too had it been around longer. It was a weird set.
Yeah, I don't think...
Maybe I should pull it up. Hold on.
Okay. Well, while you're pulling it up, now we got to talk about Ayaka beating Kate. I
pulled it up.
Oh, never mind. Well, tell us.
Okay, it was Okaberry with both physical and special investment, max HP, of course. It had Growth, Giga Drain, Stomping Tantrum, and Synthesis with some attack investment and Sassy Nature.
Alright, well, that was a weird Amoonguss set. That's a weird Amoonguss set.
Yeah, it was an Amoonguss set made for stopping Blacephalon, I think.
I mean, why would you want Amoonguss against Blacephalon anyway? Oh, well.
The thing is, if the Amoonguss picks up a kill and then he brings in his Blacephalon,
I guess.
and you don't have a good switch in,
I guess.
then the Amoonguss just,
Alright. Next up, we got Natdex Ubers minus obtainable forms. Ayaka beat Kate. After a couple of turns, the game finally went interesting with a reveal of Shell Smash Blastoise flinching the Arceus Water, giving away for Ditto to do the impostering thing and killing Blastoise by that point. And then the last half of the game saw Arceus +2's Normalium Z Oko's Eternatus. Good to know. And that took Ayaka the win. Next up, we got Perish Song versus Tyr. Oh, man. Venomicon missing 4 straight Hurricanes against Hydreigon, with Zapdos missing 1. A lot of Hurricane misses in this game.
Yes, although we still lost.
Because Perish did miss a crucial Thunder Wave, which allowed Moltres to do the Agility Nasty Plot thing, and then ultimately sweep.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That was the end of Perish Song there. Tear Acid continuing to impress. So good for Tear Acid in this.
Man, my guy Perish Song really is...
Don't let the...
Right now.
Yeah, he's not feeling it, but trust us, guys. Perish Song is a good player.
He'll come back. Who was he facing this week? I don't remember.
I don't even remember himself. Anyway, last game to cover. We got Easy versus Zern. Game 1, Easy brought Garchomp, and then Weakness Policy Stored Power Tapu Fini, which cleaned Zern's team.
Yep.
That was a
that's
very
my guy. That's my goat.
That was the dangerous Fini in the end. Game 2 was a bit more weirdly played. I mean, Victini got a successful final Gambit Oko against Swampert.
Yeah, the dude really sacked his Swampert there. But I understand he probably thought it was going to Bolt Strike and not do that.
Yeah.
But I suppose Easy just said, frick it.
Just final Gambit it. Bye. Dragonite was also being played a little weird with Ice Punch and Superpower.
Yeah, that was
weird.
Unexpected.
Oh, weird, but okay. I applaud the ingenuity. And then Lopunny cleaning the endgame, of course, against Manaphy to win the series. So a dominant win by Easy all around. Even though he said in the team chat that he lose. He lose
Yes,
again.
he links his game. He says, "I lose." He quote unquote loses, and then he links the next game and says, "I lose again."
Boom. GG. Alright, so that was the end of week 2. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet and see what the standings are for this.
What are those standings?
So the standings are pretty interesting. Of course, 8th place right now is the Full Moon Frostmots. The reigning champions need to bounce back if they want to keep their title, their prestigious title. Meanwhile, number 1.
Can I see this spreadsheet? Where can I see this spreadsheet?
And of course, we got number 1, the Ruinheim Runerigises, who, strangely enough, have been very impressive. Very impressive. I mean, I consider them a top 4 team. I think they'll make playoffs in no time.
Strangely enough, they're the only undefeated team right now.
Yeah. And then number 2, we got
they're the only team that's won twice.
Yeah, good. I mean, good. Gotham Golbats and then Absolute Posters, Grand Order Greninjas are currently in the deadlock for tie for the top 4 spots. Anastar Articunos, Bayonets, Bound Sweets, and Frostmots need to make some big adjustments if they want to make playoffs.
Actually won 4-2 versus the Articunos. I thought we won 5-2.
Oh. Well, I'll have to edit the spreadsheet later. Anyway.
Well, just double check first.
Okay.
Just double check week 1.
Okay. But for now, let's move on to week 3 predictions. These are the mystery OU sets this time. This was not concocted by me. This was actually concocted by all the managers, so props to them. So Gen 6, we got Bring 9, Pick 6 with 2 ability claws, so you can't bring 2 abilities in their Gen 6 OU. Gen 7 OU monocolor, and clarifying that the original form needs to share the color with the rest of the team. So you can't just bring a Charizard Mega X on a black team because Mega Charizard X is black. That's a no-no. It has to be the base form. It has to be the base form of the Mon chosen. So, again, for those who haven't paid attention, there you go. And then Gen 8 OU, you can add up to restricted only. You can only add up 2 restricted Mons on your team. So, these are the choices as you're seeing them right now. So, go ahead and build some creative seas, ladies and gentlemen. So,
that sounds fun.
Alright, first off, on the predictions chart, we got the Absolute Posters versus the Ruinheim Runerigises. Hypes all around. First off, TSAA, we got Tranquility versus Long Heap. This one...
I said hype.
Yep. And I'm gonna... after what we've seen from both players on the current of the TPP, I'm gonna go with Long Heap to win. I
am also gonna go with Long Heap.
Long Heap is proving to be one of the top TSAA players here, so especially so because he is one of the best OMMs players. So
there's a reason he was on me and you's initial draft plan until he became really expensive.
Well deserved, I think. I think he's one of the best OMM pickups.
Yes,
if you want a consistent build, go for Long Heap. So let's go Long Heap. Next up, Stab and Mega. A particular highlight for us Absol posters, for us honorary Absol posters. This is a highlight and a half. Ice Master versus Fabulu.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Both players actually have a good argument for both winning. So who am I gonna pick? I'm gonna say Ice Master, but only slightly.
Yeah, I'm also gonna say Ice Master. I feel like he's just a little better.
Yeah.
I think he's just a little better a player.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Joey wins. If Joey can win, I won't be surprised. Next up, Bring 12 Pick 6 Multi-Gen Rans. We got Casual.exe versus Bruno. I have not seen Bruno actually compete, but I've heard from people that he's pretty doing good.
I hear he is also pretty dang good.
So this one is actually kind of hype. I'm gonna go with the tried and true Rance main though and go for casual. But I won't be surprised if Bruno wins. If Bruno actually impresses, then yeah, I could see that.
I'll go for casual as well.
Alright. Next up, Camo Doubles. Yoda versus Zern. Zern plays doubles, ladies and gentlemen. He can do doubles pretty well.
That's so, okay.
But Yoda has been consistently impressing us for the past 2 weeks, so I think I'm not gonna be the betting man this time. I'm actually gonna be the straight up basic boy and go for Yoda on this one.
So it's between the betting man and the basic boy for you?
Yes. I never thought I'd call Yoda basic, but here we go. Here we are in 2022.
Yeah, I'm thinking Yoda wins too. I mean, doubles tier leader versus someone I didn't know until now played doubles.
So yeah. Next up, we got National Dex Same 6. This one is ought to be quite the stally game. We got Tony Flagon versus Poek. Well, considering what... Yeah, well,
Umbreon, Slowbro,
and Shuckle.
Orbeetle. Oh dear.
And Shuckle. But, we've seen...
Shuckle can stall, but like, it's usually a hazard setter.
Yeah, but we have seen Tony Flagon pull unconventional sets from crappy Mons in the past.
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to whatever he uses for Orbeetle.
I'm just looking forward to. I heard good things about Poek. Like I know a lot of people have been praising Poek as well as being a good builder. But Tony Flagon, my God, this man can absolutely build and still pull off wins. He can make the worst sets and he can still win. So, Tony Flagon.
I've seen what he can do, I know.
So, Tony Flagon. Tony Flagon, 100%.
Tony Flagon.
Natdex Ubers minus obtainable forms. We got W Sun 1 versus Ayaka. Both players having a pretty, good TPP so far. W Sun 1 having 1-1, and while Ayaka picked up his or her first win last week. So this is ought to be pretty dang close. After what we've seen and comparing these two's play skills, I think I want to go with the betting man in me and go for Ayaka on this one. I think Ayaka has impressed me more.
Interesting. I'll go W Sun 1 since I don't know enough about Ayaka.
Alright, the betting man in me begins.
Also, because, it's W Sun 1.
Yeah, I mean, not discredit. I won't be surprised if W Sun 1 wins. Next up, we got a Monotype Cap. We got Dugza versus Crucify. This ought to be a pretty dang good matchup.
Oh, yeah, that's hype.
Crucify, we've seen them play in BLT. Didn't really impress, but we know Crucify can do better. Meanwhile, Dugza came from Monotype beginnings. I think Dugza should win.
Alright, that's fair.
So who are you picking?
Dugza as well, though obviously no surprise if Crucify wins.
Alright. Mystery OU, Lax versus Ewin. Apparently everyone's favorite highlight match. Both players have been good in this OU. We know both of them can play OU to the best of their abilities, but with the weird rule sets, this might actually put a challenge in their build. I'm gonna go with Ewin on this one, actually.
Really? Why Ewin?
I just prefer Ewin's playstyle over Lax over the past 2 weeks.
Ah, okay. I guess that's fair.
Who are you picking?
I'll pick Ewin, but my gut is saying Lax.
Interesting. Next up, we got the Full Moon Frostmots, the reigning champions. Go boys. Against the Balletta Drive Bayonets. Go boys.
I'm looking forward to this rematch.
You want redemption? You got redemption. First off, TSAA Riceman versus Oakley's. Oh boy, why'd you still put? Why'd you still? Okay. I mean, props to Oakley's for wanting to learn TSAA, but he's up against the man called Rice.
Okay, Oakley's actually wanted to face Rice Man.
I
He
mean,
actually asked to be slotted in this week so he could face Rice Man.
that's wishing for a death sentence right there. Because I'm thinking Rice Man would absolutely kill Oakley's.
Aww. That's a fair assumption since Oakley's hasn't really proved himself in front of everyone yet.
He beat Leru in week 1.
That was same 6. I mean for this tier.
Okay. Stab and Mega. Elgino versus Axel. Actually a pretty even matchup. I think both players have been pretty impressive in Stab and Mega. Although...
Axel will kick his butt.
Oh... I'm gonna be... You know what? Let's go the safe man and pick Axel as well to win.
Axel looked at Elgino's team from last week and basically said, "The frick is that?"
Build it, Axel. I dare you to use that team and win. Just kidding. I mean, go ahead. Bring 12 same 6-6 multi-gen rounds. We got Fragments versus Michael Derbest 2. I mean, I wish I could say that this was evenly contested, but man, Michael Derbest absolutely proves to be one of the best Rams players in this pool. So I think this should be safe one and go for Michael.
You can't say it's evenly contested when Michael Derbest's on the other side.
Because he's Michael Derbest. He's way too good. He's way too good for this world. How is he not, like, the best small gun player of all time? Good pickup, though. So I think Michael Derbest should win.
I think so, too, as he has literally not lost a single game.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Even though you're manager. Camo doubles. Stravench versus Zefable. I would be more excited about this matchup had both players been good. I mean, no disrespect. No disrespect. Both players are absolutely amazing in doubles. So, but I want to be hyped.
Yeah, but one of them is notably better.
I want to be hyped for this matchup. You know what? Stravench may be good, but it's Zefable. I gotta go with Zefable.
I gotta go with Zefable too.
You're of course you are. GXC versus Shiloh in Nat Deck same 6. That is absolutely one of the most PU-centric, ZU-centric same 6 pulls that Daki has ever pulled. Man, this man.
Ah, yes. And then there's Celesteela.
I mean, I think this is a rematch from last year, and I think I want to...
Probably. I mean, both played same 6 last year.
Yeah, both did well in same 6 last year. I'ma be the risk.
Didn't GXC dead game half the time last year?
I think no, I think he still played quite a bunch. I'm gonna be the betting man. I'm gonna say GXC and no, yeah, I'm gonna say GXC wins here. I know Shiloh is good.
Your opinion is wrong.
I won't be surprised if Shiloh wins. I know that, but I just my gut says GXC, and I gotta go with my betting man instincts for this point. So GXC. Natex Ubers minus obtainable forms. Why you slotted Euphanos in here, PokeArt? Explain.
I didn't do that. That was Euphanos.
Bruh, why you wanna be in Ubers and why you gotta face Skooma?
I hate to say it, but Kate's barely active.
Rip. Well, I gotta go with Skooma on this one.
Euphanos basically said, okay, if Kate doesn't show up for their match, or like do anything by that time, I'm gonna slot myself in.
Well, good luck, Euphanos. I'm gonna predict Skooma on this one.
Kate played, just never linked it.
I'm still gonna pick.
This feels like blatantly trying to be inactive. Like, you could at least link it.
At least he's still. At least she still played to compensate for the everyone must play one game rule. So good on you, Kate. I'm still gonna pick Skooma though, but
She played last week. She played in week 1 too. So
oh, I thought it's invalidated in the wrong one. Anyway, yeah. I'm still gonna pick Skooma, but I won't be surprised if Euphanos can cook up some really good sets.
I will say this, I'm glad that of all times for Euphanos to be slotted in here, I'm glad it's this week versus Skooma.
Alright.
Because I'm personally less scared of Skooma than just about everyone else in this pool.
Okay.
Although I am a little worried for Euphanos from what I'm seeing in the builder.
Oof.
Just a little.
Okay.
Although I think he'll be okay by the time he has to play.
Okay. Monotype Cap. We got RSB versus Perish Song. These two. I can't believe RSB has been slotted here, but it makes sense. I think Rusty's good. Like, again, Rusty can still play any tier and make it work. While Perish Song, I want him to do well. I'm gonna predict Perish Song to win. You know what? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's pick Perish Song to win. But I won't be surprised
that's the good answer.
I won't be surprised though if RSB absolutely annihilates Perish Song.
Hey.
So I'm still picking Perish to win. So just to bump up the ratings a little bit. Mystery OU, we got Easy versus Leo. This should mean no surprise. I think Easy is definitely the better player of the two, so I think this is an easy.
Did you know Easy is the defending OU circuit champion?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't made aware of that until you pointed it out. So
look at it. Look, he's got a ribbon.
He did get a ribbon. A nice looking ribbon too. So Easy to win.
Yeah.
Then finally we got two more matchups. First off, we got the Bouncing Bounce Sweets versus the Gotham Golbats. First off, we got TSAA Mossy Sandwich versus the Dragon Master. This shouldn't be close. I think Mossy's got this.
I was also gonna say Mossy.
Next up, Stab and Mega, Adam versus Andy Boy. A highlight Stab and Mega match because both players. Adam's a part of the council. Well, Andy Boy, we've seen them before in TPP 2, I believe, and they did very well. Him and Jordan absolutely got the OMM core from that previous year and did well with it. So I'm gonna say Andy Boy wins. Who are you picking?
Alright. I'll pick Adam.
Okay. Bring 12, same, pick 6, multi-gen Rans, Krang versus Crunchman. I believe this is a rematch. If I'm not mistaken. I know I've seen this before. Oh no, it was in TLT. Where this was a rematch. But now they're playing Rans. And since Crunchman is 2-0 in Rans, we gotta go with Crunchman. Right? That's the best decision, right?
Yes, it is. I guess. Yeah, because... Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Crunchman's been absolutely dominating in Rans.
Can't believe we're predicting Crunchman over the TLT and OU beast that is crying. But here we are in 2022, ladies and gentlemen. Camo doubles. Frixel versus Instruct. Okay. Frixel.
Yeah, Frixel should have this easily.
Or Instruct. I mean, I know I'm happy that Instruct wants to play doubles, but Frixel's actually a competent doubles player, so yeah.
Yeah, he is, unfortunately.
We're saying we're bashing him, but yeah. National Deck same 6. TDK versus Siphicon. I'm not. I mean, I think this shouldn't be close at all. I think TDK is wholly better as a player here. So, sorry, Siffy. I gotta go with TDK on this one.
Yes, I agree with that.
National Dex Ubers by Unobtainable Forms. We got Lottie Outside versus Bacon Eating Assassin. Both players haven't had the strongest of TPPs yet, but they did pick up 2 notable wins. I believe they're the... No, Star won against Bacon, and then Lottie Outside beat Star. So, this is the triangle forming together. Who will be better between Lottie Outside and Bacon? I'm gonna say...
Logically, you would think Lodia's site would beat Bacon Eating Assassin, but I think Bacon Eating Assassin is just better here, so I think Bacon Eating Assassin will win.
I also think Bacon will win. I think Bacon is better as a player in general in Ubers. So, yeah. Next up, we got Monotype Cap, Spitfire Arcanine, or DJ Illuminati versus Roxy. Roxy's been wholly impressive in Monotype Cap, so Roxy. Roxy?
Yeah, Roxy.
And Mystery OU, we got Rob Jr. versus Astralidia. You know, after seeing Rob Jr. play in week 2...
Oh wait, actually, back to the previous match, while I do think Roxy will win, don't be surprised if Spitfire wins. He's a good player.
He is. Don't underestimate Spiffy Arcoe, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Jr. versus Astralidia. After... Rob Jr. kind of impressed me in week 2, so I think I'm going to go Rob on this one.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm not exactly sure why Astralidia is playing this week.
Oh well, maybe you want to try something different. Who knows? And finally, we got the Anastar Articunos versus the Grand Order Greninjas. Interesting matchups, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one as well. First off, TSAA Plakuzek versus Byleth. 2 very experienced OMM players going at it. Yeah,
yes, unfortunately, I predict Byleth wins.
I also think Byleth wins. I think Byleth is better overall as an OMM's player than Plaku.
Yes, I agree there.
As Stab and Mega, we got the newest member for the Articunos, Agrometali, versus Sage. This one is looking pretty hype as well. Both players are known to be really good in Stab and Mega, especially in this, especially for the better part of OMMs this year. I think both absolutely picked up their strengths. So this is actually pretty hard to predict. Sage has been doing good. Well, Agrometali, this is his first week, and a lot of hype has been surrounded around him.
Yeah, he was actually on our initial draft plan when we were doing stuff, but well, I guess we didn't get him, but because we
you already have
accidentally got Axel.
You already have Axel. But he isn't on anybody's draft plans without good reason, so I think I'm gonna go Agrometali on this one.
Yeah. Although I think Sage will win.
Okay. Bring 12 multi-gen Rans. We got Losco no Shoto versus Expulso. 2, very experienced Rans players going at it. This one's ought to be close as well. I think I want to go... I'm going to be the betting man. Losco no Shoto. Who you thinking?
Alright, I'll go with that too.
You gonna go with Los Gono? Alright. It's the first time you've ever predicted for Los Gono. Hello? Yeah. Next up, Camo Doubles, Shadow Monster.
Really?
Next up, we got Camo Doubles, Shadow Monster versus Kepper. I think this is a pretty interesting matchup. Both players known for their doubles experience.
I think so too.
I'm gonna say Shadow is the safe pick, but Kepper is 2-0 right now. I'm gonna say Shadow, but only slightly. I won't be surprised if Kepper wins.
Yes.
So who are you picking?
This is another case of like my brain saying Shadow, but my gut is saying Kepper.
So this is I want to
slightly be leaning Kepper.
All right, I want to catch this game. I absolutely want to catch this game live. National deck, same 6. You got Leiru versus Sasha. I mean,
Leiru.
Sasha first stepping into same 6 is a interesting choice, and I'm happy that Sasha wants to try out same 6.
Leiru.
But I think Leiru, after beating Tony Flygon last week, Leiru should absolutely take this one. So Leiru it is. Natdex Ubers minus obtainable forms.
Leiru. Yes.
Natdex Ubers minus obtainable forms. We got FC versus Star Master. Another highlight match. I'm looking forward to seeing this. I want to catch this game live so I can meme all over it.
Yeah, now that's two real pros going at it right there. Goodness gracious.
Both players are looking very impressive. I'm gonna say FC.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
biased.
say FC as well.
Maybe biased. Maybe that's biased talking, but I think FC is generally the more goated player. Monotype Cap. Hello?
What were you saying?
I said FC, generally the more goated player. In Ubers.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, in this format, yeah, I think he's a bit better.
But I won't
More at home.
I won't be surprised if Star Master wins though. So
Star Master is good enough to pull that upset. That is true.
Monotype Cap. Trichotomy versus Askov. I don't think this will be close at all. I think Trichotomy absolutely kills this tier, so Trichotomy.
I also think Trichotomy.
And then finally, Mystery OU, Atrix Madara versus TPP. You know, I was like not high on Atrix Madara during BLT, so maybe he'll pull off some pretty good wins here in TPP itself, but he's up against TPP himself, so TPP.
Yeah, that's quite the matchup. It's almost like an honor if you get to face TPP.
In TPP. So, who you picking?
The obvious safe pick is TPP, but my gut is telling me something else.
You gonna be the betting woman? You gonna pick Atrix?
My guts are better.
Okay.
I am not.
Okay. So, that is the end of the week 3 predicts. Pretty long video, but that's just the nature of hosting a freaking long tour. So thank you all for watching.
Yeah, but even then, the BLT videos were longer than this.
Because they had 40 matches. We had 40 matches to go. We had 10 tiers over 8 tiers. But TPP looking to shape up to be pretty So, thank you all for...
That's not very nice to say to the player facing Atrax Madara.
Sorry. Good. I mean, TPP himself. I mean, TPP as a person himself, absolutely goated person. But the tour itself, the tour he is quote-unquote based after, Anyway, thank you all for watching.
The Plaza premiere, yeah, it's not looking as great, although it is looking rather even.
It's rather comfy. It is rather comfy, and I wish I could be more excited for TPP, but that's just the nature of the early rounds. We'll see even more goated players as we go along. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so you wouldn't miss any of my information once they come out. And I'll see you next week when we'll tackle week 3 recap and week 4 predicts. I actually got it right this time.
Good job, Mikoi. It only took you a few times messing up previously.
In the first hour. Alright, thank you all for watching. This has been Mikoi, signing out.
Wait. Just realized some of the matches happened already, didn't they?
Right, Los Go no beat Expulso. Ha!
Oh.
This has been Mikoi, signing out. Goodbye.